site is a great concept. I mean, it's something that allows our wrestling family to go ahead and conversate and communicate. You know, we added widgets. There's Twitter now on there. So, and then reality is just we need to thrive more. We need to bring more users in. We need to have people sign up, use the system, and more importantly, if you are using the system, I'm actually going to type in my email address. I'm in the process of really revamping the site, and I'm willing to hear suggestions, critique, whatever. I'm going to put my email address on there, and if those are you, like Lil Wayne, are members of the community, definitely let me know what you like to see on there. And, again, it's just to help kind of grow the site, because the site is a great concept. I mean, there's really nothing else out there besides WWE Universe.
Yeah, no, it really is a real cool concept when it comes to the MySpace.com type deal. So check that out at WrestleCommunity.com. We may work a little bit more closely with you guys here in the next few weeks. So WrestleCommunity.com and WZROnline.com for that. Monday Night Raw. We'll get back into Monday Night Raw. Then we're going to talk about Umaga. Then we're going to talk about Vicky Guerrero. And we're going to take live phone calls for the rest of the night. Anything you guys want to ask, give us a call, and we'll do our best to give you an answer to your questions. One last thing, we're going to be at the Dallas Barbecue on the corner of 23rd and 8th Avenue in New York City this Saturday night at 5 o'clock. So if you're in the New York City area, if you're going to be in town on Saturday, if you're going to attend the Ring of Honor show, we want to meet you guys. We don't bite. We're nice people. I'm going to be meeting Jose for the first time, which is going to be kind of cool. And we're going to swing down there, and we'll walk in there about 5 o'clock. So that's the Dallas Barbecue on the corner of 23rd and 8th Avenue. Hopefully you guys will come out, and we'll all have a good time. And
it should be fun. I mean, for me personally, this is actually my first time going to a Ring of Honor event. Been to indie shows before, so and to experience it with you guys, and it's going to be fun. And not only that, but I'm actually going to be wearing my Ultimate Warrior wristband and my headband that's going to have Ultimate Warrior on it, so you can definitely see where I'm sitting.
All right, no doubt. Well, they'll be able to.
If you believe that, you're stupid.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. Well, actually, you know what? I kind of thought you were serious there for a second. I was going to roll with it. And I was
Are you crazy? Ultimate Warrior wristband?
Stop. I don't know. I know. Some people know what I look like from flyers. We used to pass out flyers and things like that. So I know some of you guys know what I look like, and I don't know. We'll see who shows up, and we'll have a good time. So it's Dallas Barbecue at the corner of 23rd and 8th Avenue in New York City, 5 o'clock this Saturday night. Look forward to that. Should be a good time. We'll have some stories to tell. Hopefully, next week we'll have some stories to tell from the Ring of Honor show and the big 3-hour Raw next week as well. Speaking of Raw, let's get back into a little bit of Monday Night Raw. We had Kofi Kingston and William Regal. Kofi retained here. One interesting note that I put on the website last night was, did you hear Lillian's goof when she introduced Kofi Kingston? She introduced him as Intercontinental Champion. Hey, it happens, right? Everybody
happens to the best.
Happens to the best of them, so whatever. The match was what it was, you know what I mean? We had a backstage segment where it was the Legacy and Randy Orton, and basically Orton says he went to Vicky Guerrero, and she has said that by the end of tonight, if Batista doesn't return to the arena, we will crown a new champion. And Matt Boone can vouch for me when I say this. I sent him a message, and I said, man, this has got to be Triple H. I said, you've got Batista going out. You can't have this many. When they found out on Sunday that Batista was going to have that surgery on Tuesday, I mean, that was automatic right there. All right, well, if Batista's out, then you need somebody back. You need Triple H. And they were going to keep Triple H out for at least a few more weeks. So they brought him back early. It's not that he's not a TV on a weekly basis anyway, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like wasn't like he was sitting at home doing nothing. I mean, he's been there for the last few weeks. So he was there. They had him return early last night. That's that's basically the they always put the whether it's a hog pen match or whether it's a bunch of goofy guys, they always seem to team those guys up. And you had
the oddities.
You had Santino Marella, Goldust, Festus on one side, and you had Jamie Noble, D. Brian Kendrick, and Chavo Guerrero. I don't mean to put it like Battle of the Jobbers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Battle of the Mid-Card Jobbers is basically what that was. I mean, think of it. Santino Marella, Goldust, Festus versus Jamie Noble, D. Brian Kendrick, and Chavo Guerrero. I mean, that is the battle of the mid-card jobbers.
It's funny because it's interesting what they do with these guys. I mean, it's great that they're on still TV and they're not one of those guys that are featured on WZROnline.com saying, good luck in their future endeavors. I mean, the reality is, they're trying to fill in some TV time, and it's funny because that's kind of like how I look at that group of individuals. Hallsworth and Goldust is like they're the 2009 version of Oddities, and kind of putting Hallsworth and Goldust together. That so it's interesting way to build comedy, and of course they throw in Santino. You can't go wrong with that. So it's interesting that they continue building what they're doing here, and I think they're going to continue it. I don't think that this is just a one-time thing that we saw this past Monday. I think we're actually going to see the 2009 version of the Oddities within those four.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, man.
I mean, do you really care, though?
No, right? No.
I hear the excitement from you. You're like, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Let's hope not. You know what I mean?
Anything? I mean, honestly, it's Brian Kendrick, Santino. I would love to see a program with those two. Kind of not let them loose because in reality is they're not going to be let loose. But I personally think that we would see some really good in-ring wrestling entertainment when you put those two together. I mean, because Brian can still play his role as being this cocky dude. Santino. So if you put those two together, I think they kind of make some really good chemistry.
Yeah, and we'll have to wait and see. I really like D. Brian Kendrick. Obviously, we know of his past problems that have gotten him some heat with those within the company. So, I mean, it's good to see, like you said, that he's still featured on TV on a weekly basis. But not winning and not being pushed is another story. So we'll have to wait and see. Especially right now with releases. I mean, now is not the time to piss people off within that company, whether it's a wellness policy, whether it's pot smoking, whether it's sly comments to the wrong people. You know what I mean? I mean, now is not the time where you want to risk your job. You know what I mean? And I heard that there's more cuts. We reported a couple weeks back that there's supposed to be 6 roster cuts coming, and by the way, something I haven't reported on the website is last week at Developmental on Wednesday night at the FCW tapings, they did major drug testing there as well, and they followed that up last night as Raw with major drug testing there as well. Not sure about SmackDown tonight, but it wouldn't surprise me. What they did some massive testing last night backstage at Raw, and once again at the developmental facility down at FCW last Wednesday night, and that led to the releases of several talents, 3 talents, at least 3 that we know of from FCW, and 2 of those were said to be wellness related. So now is not the time where if you want to fail a drug test. And then there was a report out today, Dave Meltzer claimed that one of the guys on the creative team last night was told, the entire creative team was told there were a few names that were listed as being basically blacklisted from next week's Raw. So that led to a lot of speculation about possible suspensions in the coming weeks, and it wouldn't surprise me with the major testing that's been going on in recent weeks. So So we'll have to wait.
Well, a lot of times when a major star goes down, and in this case we're talking about a Batista, not saying that he was on it, he's ever on it. I mean, I don't know what he does. That's his personal business. But a lot of the reality is they start getting a little worried. They start kind of remembering. It usually happens, when there's a death as well, something kind of dramatic that will kind of wake their eyes up and saying, all right, well, obviously if you take steroids and it deteriorates your body slowly, and it all depends how your body performs. It may be a bit faster. It all, again, it all depends the person's individual's body.
Yeah, but
once someone goes down, they kind of get worried and say, all right, well, maybe it's that time again to kind of really start checking everyone out, especially down in the minor leagues. A lot of those guys think that they're untouchable because, quite frankly, no one really cares. But that's not the case, obviously, and we saw, 3 guys that were down there, don't know why, but they were let go. But